Hello, everyone. Bill Molyneux here with, well, it's a terrible stormy weekend, and I've decided to flock the Vikings, and then we're going to flock the Civil War figures that are being set up with hot lead and cold steel. At the same time, we're going to watch Major Dundee. So, get a figure here and spot. Make sure we can see him. All right. So, we have our glue mix. It's right here. And it's a green Elmer's glue, 50% wash. And so what are you working on? And this is another one of my just goofy workbench chit chat sessions. So the Williamsburg muster. I thought we'd talk about, well, first of all, I would like to say, before we start anything, thank you for watching this channel. Every month I'm taking the money from this channel, which averages a couple hundred a month, as much as 350 one month and as low as 110. But I am donating that money to a small historic site. So I do appreciate all of you that are watching. And let's be honest, I'll never be like many of the famous YouTube channels. I'm an old chubby guy who's just goofing around with figures and trying to get people off their couch and out of the, get their figures painted. Everyone jokes about how many figures they have in their basement. So, but we don't have the Cold Wars convention this year. So there is the Hawks Barrage. There is the ScrumCon event in DC in March. And my favorite is the Williamsburg Muster, Williamsburg, Virginia, February 17th weekend. So these Vikings really coming along. The flocking really makes it. So I'm not sure on I've gone over this many times. 50% water or glue, some water added in, and some green paint. It makes it a very thin mixture. And then now there are people that add rocks. There are people that add little tufts of grass. My wargaming world has always been more to get the figures enough on the table, the tank, whatever it might be, to use it in a game. But I've never really strived for that museum quality look. And of course, there are some phenomenal wargamers out there. There's a fella named Tony. I won't use his last name. But he can paint up an armored vehicle and give it so many layers of wash that it looks real when he's done. And it's astounding the level he gets out of his painting skill. So we have the Historicon convention. I haven't decided what to put in for. The Williamsburg muster in February, I'm running the game on French Foreign Legion with Derek with the Chuckleheads. Really looking forward to that. So I'm very partial to the Williamsburg muster. Now the Hawks Barrage in winter, that's looking to be a good event also. And I'll be running. I have a lot of personal life issues going on, so I'm not going to say much more. But the barrage event, I'm running a very little game, and it's not even 54 millimeter because there is a chance I could be out of town. So I had to keep it small. And that game that I'm running is none other than Wacky Racers, the cartoon show from Hanna-Barbera from the 60s in 20 millimeter. And everyone will get a racer such as Dick Dastardly and Muttley. And if you're young and you're under probably 40, you have no idea what I'm talking about. But if you're an older person, you actually probably know about the Wacky Racers. So now I've come across one of my Viking archers that Josh made for me with his 3D printer. Get this up in the camera. You'll see I have that styrofoam rock piece. So I got to make sure. Now if I wanted to, I could have done a layer of rock or sand or a different type of flocking on this. But right now, so that's what that looks like. And I'm pretty happy with that. So he looks like he's stepping up on a rock or a glob of dirt or something. So I'm very happy how these Vikings came out. Hopefully you can see that good. They have the polyurethane on them. When I painted them, I tried to make sure I did an extra thickness on the weapons. So the swords, spears, because they have a habit of bending and flocking off. So, gotta say, these archers that Josh Warliff made for me, just phenomenal. And the polyurethane matte finish I used on these, it's just very, very nice. Oh. But the different people that watch the channel, I gotta say, I get a lot of messages, and I'm having a hard time anymore making sure I get to everyone when they leave messages. So please understand, if you do leave a question or you ask me something, I'm not like a lot of the channels where they have multiple people helping out on the YouTube channels. It's just me. The Chucklehead guys are great, but I don't have it set up where they can go into the account and make any adjustments or changes or even answer email. And I'm sure if I did that with Kevin, Colonel Handsome as we call him, because he's I guess the women think he's quite handsome, including my wife, when he wears his blue sweater. So I have a couple batches of these Vikings to do, and boy, they really came out well. So now Saturday I was supposed to be playing Sands of the Sudan. And as you know, I'm trying to get more views on this channel because I'm trying to raise more money for the Friends of the Americans Friends for Lafayette. And that's a special event with where they're going all over the country with a reenactor named Mark, who's quite famous as Napoleon and Lafayette, and he's going to all the locations that Lafayette went to when he came back for his 1824 to 1825. So for the next 2 months, all of this YouTube money is going to them. Mr. Robert Kelly, who's also, by the way, helping me make some videos for my Black History Month videos. So, and yes, I am trying to put out more videos right now to generate more views and to get more money. And I think it's a worthy cause to help these small sites. So now, speaking of small sites and helping them out, we're going to be going to the Braddock Battlefield History Center near Pittsburgh. Actually, I guess it's right in Pittsburgh. February 10th, we're going to be taking a whole car full of historians and war gamers. We're going to drive out there. And yes, from here, it's about a 4.5-hour drive. And the plan will be, we're going to take Goober the Traveling Bear and a check for a little over $500 to donate to the museum for all the Goober calendars that we sold in the past few months. And if you bought a calendar, thank you very much. So one of my things with Bill Molyneux Games, we sold calendars. And I would appreciate if you need a board war game on the War of 1812, French Indian War Volume 1 or 2, Brandywine with Germantown, Paoli, and Valley Forge in it, to consider buying one of my games, because I try to put back a lot of my profits from what I do in this whole game world back into these historic sites. So, and not everyone gets the whole goober thing, but it was just a fun idea. They have a 40-year-old bear running around visiting historic sites and trying to bring awareness to some of these museums that many people have no idea even exist. So my friend Kevin from the Chuckleheads, he's coined the phrase that many of these sites are hidden gems, as he calls them, because he says they're small, out-of-the-way museums. So some of the sites we donated money to this past since September is the CSS Noose, Confederate Ironclad Museum in Kinston, North Carolina. And then we donated to the Jerusalem Mills Historic Site, sort of near where I live in Nottingham area. Donated to the Gloucester Museum of History. And they are in Gloucester, Virginia. Really cool museum. It's also the site of the largest mounted cavalry action during the Revolutionary War. It was French cavalry too, not American dragoons so much, which makes it even a little bit more interesting. Let's get this horse painted. What do you say? So, something I miss with my old wargaming group in Gettysburg was sometimes we would have a painting Saturday. Jack Rendell and a few others would be over, and we would paint figures and watch war movies. So, and of course, Jack has moved far away, and many of the members of the original group no longer functional. They're no longer with us. So, by the way, Jim Shaw or his granddaughter did a phenomenal job on this mounted night horse. But as I plug along, the amazing how you get friendships in this hobby, and you meet someone at a war game convention and you do a battle with them for 3 or 4 hours, and the next war game convention, even though that person may live hundreds of miles away or you never see him again, it's just like an old friend is returned, and I think that's really neat. And I have one of those friends, Matt. He lives out in Oregon, and we've been friends for probably 20 years as far as miniature wargaming. And he flies in for the conventions, and yet it's the only time I've ever seen him. So, all right. These 3D printed 3D printed Vikings with the bows. These archers are just they came together so well between Josh's printing, Jim Shaw's painting with his granddaughter, and then putting them on the poker chips. And of course, my poker chips are the weighted kind. And adding that flocking just makes these figures pop. And fortunately, we have a lot of them to go. So I originally was going to do this as a live broadcast, but we have several dogs in the house. They're all rescues. And if something happened, like a UPS guy or FedEx or something, they go berserk. So I thought it better to do this as a video. So, Saturday, I'm hoping someone will leave me a comment. I need to do a war game video to get some views so I can raise some money for my Lafayette program that I'm helping with Robert Kelly and that whole team in Gloucester, Virginia. Should I do a Vikings battle? Should I try to do a 54mm Civil War battle? We have the football playoffs at 4, so of course the Ravens are going to the Super Bowl. But if you want to leave a comment, I've also wanted to do the 30 core breakout with some Shermans and some Bren carriers. And I have that new Panther tank that Sheriff John and his 92-year-old father, who builds incredible armor, sent to me. And that Panther is, it actually has the right camo and all for that. It's not winter camo, so I could actually put that in the game. So these figures came out just stunning. Just stunning. Flocking adds so much to these. So I have a lot of figures to flock. Now I have that 54mm Fort William Henry yet, and that gigantic Alamo and the extra figures I got from Ron Perlman, the Pretzel Snyder King. So I'm not sure what I'm going to put on the table here in the basement. You need to get reorganized. And I have some stuff going on behind the scenes that only a few people know about. And when it gets released, it's going to be a shocker to everyone. Um, so, but got more archers. The Raven Feast game might be fun. I could do a small battle of that tomorrow. I have some carts that would work and some stone walls. I don't really have any buildings for this time period, but the Little Wars TV fellas, Greg and all of them, Tony and Miles, they have some wonderful videos on how to make buildings and terrain for Raven Feast. Not that I'm going to be doing a lot of Raven Feast. I have 2 Marx castles and a ton of siege equipment. So I'm more inclined to think these Vikings are going to land in their dragon ships and attack a Marx castle in 54 millimeter. I would think there's a few of you out there old enough to remember getting a Marx castle for Christmas. I never did. Now my neighbor Andy across the street from us, he got one, and it was quite impressive. Came with all kinds of cool little doodads besides the figures, and so the Marx playset was, they were all just so well made. All right. We're going to stop here for a moment. Well, I have babbled for 22 minutes, everyone. And these figures are coming along great. I have about 40 more to go. And I'm going to post this and continue painting. And then I'm going to, or continue flocking. Then I'm going to finish off the rest of these Civil War figures. So, let me know what I should be doing for my game, for my YouTube channel this weekend. Should I do some Raven Feast with Marx figures, or should I do some Civil War, which I'm not sure if I'll have them all done tonight, with hot lead and with cold steel. Lots of things to decide about, but I'm going to continue painting or flocking with my green paint Elmer's glue mix. And this was just a fun chit chat in Bill's basement. And my wife's not feeling the best, so she's upstairs sleeping. We have 3 dogs, and if I move around too much in parts of the house, they start barking. So one of the reasons that sometimes I am cast away into the basement is I need to be run silent, run deep. Alright, that's it for now. I'm going to continue working on these. I hope you might enjoy listening to me babble. Stay safe, be kind, be courteous, and please subscribe and please watch videos so I can raise more money to give to historic sites. Thank you, everyone.